What is up, guys? Welcome back to another powerful episode of Insights That Inspire. And today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Ankur Gupta, and he's a life and relationship coach, and he helps people make better life decisions, build healthier, happier relationship. And in today's conversation, we will go beyond the usual advices and explore practical lessons that anybody can apply in their daily life, whether it is life or relationship. So this episode is perfect fit for you if you're struggling with relationship, you're confused about your future, about any particular thing in your career, like whether you should do it or not, you are feeling stuck, or simply you want to become a better version of yourself, like you want to unlock your true potential, then this episode is absolutely fit for you. So Ankur, let's get started. And first of all, welcome to the podcast. I am super duper excited for this episode. And I'm pretty sure you're also excited. So welcome once again.
Thank you, Mohit.
So this is my first question, which is pretty simple, Ankur. Like as you are a life and relationship coach, so I just wanted to understand कि आपकी journey कैसे शुरू हुई? Like was there any turning point in your personal life जिसने आपको inspire करा हो to take this path?
Absolutely. So, most of my career, I have been into software engineering, and like during the day, I'm working as a data analytics lead and leading a big team based out of a US company. So, my career has been focused more towards numbers, patterns, behaviors at scale. But a few years ago, I realized like this is not something which is exciting me or something which is fulfilling my work. So why relationship that start so lovey and dovey quietly become so quiet? That is where my interest got captured. And my own personal life had certain issues with respect to relationships. Today, like if we dwell into more honestly, we had a lot of challenges. Me and my wife, we've been married for about 10 years now and have dated for close to 10 years before. So we have known each other for almost 19 to 20 years. But after having our first child, we had a lot of hiccups in our relationship. uh, it almost and the almost on the verge of being ended. So that is where we both started working towards it. And I attended a few like training sessions and attended Tony Robbins in US, and then in India I got a chance to attend Sneh Desai live. So that is where it hit you in the areas you have never touched. So then I thought like this is something that which is changing our life, exposing us towards so many other areas which we have never explored. Like school may nobody teaches you how to be good in relationships, or nobody teaches you how to be good in your own life and manage a lot of things very well. Mostly the focus has been throughout like career, settlement, financial goals. But apart from that, you have other things to do, which actually drives your life. So I enrolled into like real coaching by Mr. Sneh Desai. He has been my coach, my mentor, my guru. And I've been through a lot of relationship coachings as well from multiple resources. So that is where it all started. And during this journey, I realized one thing like, first you change yourself, then your relationship starts changing. Like, you cannot expect the other person to change overnight. You cannot expect your relationship to be, lovey dovey all of a sudden. It's a constant effort that you make every single day. The boring activities that you do together, that is where the real pattern lies, because you are talking about shifting your entire identity from somebody completely different what you have been grown up in past 30, 20 years, whatever your age is, to becoming a completely different person. It requires real hard work. So now, with God grace, as well as all the efforts that we have put in together, we are totally different people. Our marriage is totally different. We have two kids, and everything is going really well. So it requires a lot of real hard work, I must say. Like, and that is where my journey started, and that inspired me to like help others, and I kind of went on a mission to help like so many folks who are troubling through like divorces or confusions, or they are stuck in their life. I have so many clients who are really, really successful in their career, but when it comes to relationships and when it comes to other areas, they struggle like a kid. So it gives me an immense pleasure, as well as happiness from inside, when I'm able to make a little bit of contribution to make their lives better.
100%. So it is something like you first transformed your relationship,
Absolutely.
your life, and you got the real hand-on experience, and that's true also. Like nowadays, relationships. This is a topic which should we consider to teach each and everybody क्योंकि आज का डेट सोशल मीडिया आज का जमाना सोशल मीडिया का है people are so grown up उनका mindset everything is getting bigger so it is so important to teach them and you are absolutely on amazing mission great mission that you want to create the impact you want to build that happier healthier life between couples so I want to ask you this question Ankur कि like there are so many couples you know those who go like जो बैड फेज से गुजरते हैं जैसे आपका भी एक बैड फेज रहा था एंड देन यू कंसिडर्ड टू टेक द हेल्प रिलेशनशिप कोचिंग आपने किया एंड चीजों को समझा सो व्हाट आर दोज साइंस जहां पर किसी भी कपल को वो रिलेशनशिप बहुत ज्यादा खराब ना हो जाए उससे पहले कंसिडर करना चाहिए कि नाउ इट इज अ परफेक्ट टाइम टू टॉक टू समबडी एंड गेट द हेल्प व्हाट आर दोज
Okay.
साइंस in any particular relationship where they should consider to seek for help.
Absolutely. So before we get into that, we need to understand one thing, Mohit. Like, humans have different needs and we have different languages of love. Okay. Like, for example, there are five different languages of love. Like, one is you can show with your like when you are appreciating someone with the words, you show that affection, you show that care, you show that love. Then there is thing that is called as quality time, where you spend really excellent quality time with your partner, with your spouse, without any distractions. That is also a form of a love. Then comes as act of service, where you are feeling love through things that you have done for each other, like how Indian households run, where wives are actually cooking for their husbands or helping them throughout their households, as well as raising the kids. So that is act of service. Then comes as receiving gifts, like where you feel love because your partner or somebody you love basically gives you some gifts or something. And lastly, like physical touch, which is extremely important to have closeness in intimate relationships. So a lot of people, they talk different languages. Like, it is as good as we two are speaking in different languages, like I'm speaking Mandarin while you are speaking French, and expect each other to understand their languages without laying a bridge. So when you are talking different languages, when you are coming from a totally different mindset, there will be differences. So the key reason to understand here is you understand each other's love languages, or love map that you say. So once you understand, like, okay, my partner's top two love languages are could be something like act of service, or receiving gifts, and the other person's could be like physical touch, as well as, say, word of affirmation. So you have to find out a path in between, where you are delivering love to the other person in the languages that they speak, right? So a lot of times couples, what the biggest mistake that they make is they don't understand each other's language. They try to give love in their own way and expect to land in the other person's territory without raising any conflict. So that is one major gap where people, I would say it's a lack of awareness and lack of understanding for your partner. Like, people say ki, "Yeah, I love him so much, I love her so much," but the other person doesn't get that. So because you are speaking your own respective languages, you are not speaking the languages that they are receiving it in. Another is, I would say, like, a lot of relationships today, in this era of social media, run out of, like, from what Instagram says, or from what a lot of influencers says. So you are trying to run something solely on the motivation, or solely on the advice some random people are giving. They are a very different perspective that they are trying to add to your life. Your identity is what you are grown, born, and brought up with. So that is a biggest conflict. Like until and unless you are trying to shift your identity, you will always gonna keep regressing back to where you started. So for example, if I'm a lethargic person, I'm like super lazy, and I get motivated by some influencer who has like six pack apps. Like I want to build something in 6 months because the person says it's possible. So first of all, it might not be true. That is the question that you have to raise yourself. Second is, are you in the shoes of that particular person to build that kind of identity? Because if you are solely driven by motivation, your motivation might die in like 10 days, 15 days, and then you basically kind of train your brain to realize an aspect where I'm not capable enough. If your brain continues to hear that I'm not capable enough, then it will try to make yourself, I'm not capable enough. So that is where you have to realize what is your own identity lies, what are your capabilities, how you can challenge and push your boundaries to actually go beyond that, and what you want to put into your relationship and your life overall. If you are a very, you know, pessimistic person, if you are very much, grounded in certain uh, beliefs that are not healthy for a relationship, you cannot build a happy, healthy relationship. You first have to change those beliefs. You first have to accept what the what's in good for both of you. So always build like a mutual trust in between and work on top of it. So I say like there's a thing called as like imagine you and your partners have a account in common, um, where you are trying to both of you are trying to withdraw from it. So anything that you do which hurts the other person, you are doing any withdrawals. And anything that you do during the day, during your span of relationship, where the other person feels loved, happy, and there is a growth involved, that basically adds up to that particular account. So our goal should always be to deposit into an account versus keep withdrawing from your love account. So that is where I feel like a lot of relationship ends up into very destabilizing areas where you are coming from a complete lack of awareness, and you are trying to run your relationship on a like more of a, I would say, FSG, which is you just try to run it on uh, like what is the term, self-serve, that you don't put any effort, it is running perfectly, and we try to compare ourselves with people from our relationships or friends or families, uh, seeing their perspective, like, okay, they are doing very well. Why we are not able to do it? They are not putting in efforts. Why do we have to put in efforts? Every relation and every couple are different. Some learn these skills by default. Some have to make effort to learn these skills, but you cannot operate a complex system without reading the manual. So.
Mm. And you have been in relationship like before you got married. You had been like you were in relationship for almost 10 years, and you are married since last 10 years. So you can tell me more better about it. Like on social media, everybody see like couples all the time. They're excited, love, and this, that. So what exactly like because you just said also like there's so many boring things which
Mhm.
we have to like जो हमको like we have to be with that live with that. और काफी सारे लोग होते हैं जो रॉन्ग एक्सपेक्टेशन सोशल मीडिया को देखकर पाल लेते हैं कि हमेशा एक्साइटमेंट ही रहनी चाहिए एंड जब वो खत्म हो जाती है देन दे ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट समबडी एल्स आल्सो ओके सो व्हाट डू यू वांट टू say to them those who always look for excitement or something like this.
So excitement is a very, I would say a very dubious term. अगर आप एक नाइट क्लब में जाते हो, ठीक है, आप बहुत एक्साइटेड हो, यू ग्रैब सम ड्रिंक्स और आप डांस कर रहे हो, आप कितनी देर तक उस एक्साइटमेंट के फेज में रह सकते हो? मे बी 1 hour, 2 hours, then eventually you will tire yourself. अगर
Exactly.
आपका रिलेशनशिप हमेशा एक्साइटिंग फेज में रहने वाला है तो वो 2-3 दिन में खत्म भी हो जाएगा, राइट? क्योंकि ह्यूमन इमोशंस जो हैं हर सेकंड चेंज होते हैं। आप कभी भी एक्साइटिंग स्टेट में बहुत लंबे टाइम तक नहीं रह सकते, ठीक है? सो वी ट्राई टू कंपेयर आवर रियल लाइफ विद द हाइलाइटेड रील्स, दोज रील्स एंड दोज द कंटेंट दैट इज बीइंग सर्व टू यू इज जस्ट अ मिनट वर्थ ऑफ एफर्ट, राइट? कि
Exactly.
अगर आप उसको जिस चीज से कंपेयर कर रहे हो, आप एक पूरी एंटायर लाइफ को आप डिफाइन कर रहे हो एक 5 मिनट के कंटेंट के साथ, तो वो तो कभी कंपेरेबल हो ही नहीं सकता, ठीक है? इट इट गिव्स यू द फील ऑफ, सो इसके ऊपर भी देर आर थिंग्स कॉल्ड एज 6 human needs, राइट? व्हाई सोशल मीडिया अफेक्ट्स अस सो मच? बिकॉज देर आर 6 human needs. वन इज सर्टेनिटी, द नीड टू फील सेफ, लाइक आपका पास एक अच्छा बैंक बैलेंस हो, एक फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी हो वेयर यू फील सिक्योर, दैट इज सर्टेनिटी. द फील ऑफ वेराइटी एंड अनसर्टेनिटी, लाइक यू ट्रैवल टू अ डिफरेंट प्लेस, आप डेली नई नई जगह एक्सप्लोर करते हो, यू the need for novelty or change or surprises or gifts, those are uncertainty. ठीक है? Then there is a need for significance, that you need to feel unique, you need to feel top of the world, you need to be very competitive. ठीक है? Then comes the love and connection, and that is, name says itself, like you need to feel close, loved, amongst your friends. Comes growth, super important. Growth is the need to keep expanding your existing limits and keep growing, enhancing your skills and progressing in your life. And lastly, contribution, like where you have acquired everything, and even not even acquired everything, but overall you need the feel to give back to the society, right? That is contribution. So in total we have 6 needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution. Social media is designed in such a way that it fulfill all your needs in one go, right? So anything that fulfill your needs, you become so much attached to that particular aspect or that particular person. If you are somebody who is able to fulfill all these needs by yourself, for yourself, you don't need anyone, you don't need social media, you don't need, you will need people for the love and connection and relationship and growth, of course. But you are not desperate for a relationship, you are not desperate of social media, you're not desperate of a specific relationship in your life. How do you do that? If your goal and if your focus is bigger than yourself, then you are working towards it every single day. What you are doing is you are building a financial independence for yourself. So you are becoming certain. You know what you have to do every single day to actually achieve your goals. Second is uncertainty. When you're working towards a bigger goals, you are meeting different people, you are making connections, your needs for love and connection is getting fulfilled. At the same time, it will have a lot of challenges. You are every single day is different, so you are getting the needs of uncertainty met. Then comes the growth. Of course, you're growing in your career, in your life. You're focusing on your bigger achievements. You are growing. And then you are contributing back to the society as well, right? So when your goals are not limited to yourself, they are bigger than yourself, you will fulfill everything in your life individually. And then imagine if you are with a person who is also like you, who is able to maintain all their 6 human needs by themselves, then you make uh, like the heavenly relationship that you call it as. So social media is addictive because it is trying to fulfill everything in one go. You open your phone, reels will be available. That gives you certainty. Every reel is different, it gives you uncertainty. You are trying to comment on people's profiles, people are commenting in your reels, you're getting love and connection. You feel like my followers are growing, you're getting the growth. You are making some content which is helping people, you are contributing to the society in your own ways. So that is why it becomes super active. And when you try to compare your relationship from what you are seeing on social media, it becomes toxic.
Exactly.
So
And as we are talking about like the real life versus real life, I've watched a lot of reels. काफी सारे psychologists, counselors, relationship coaches, they keep telling Cheating is okay in relationship. So what's your thought about it? Any
So
form of
cheating,
cheating?
so cheating has so many forms, right?
Yeah,
Cheating does not mean कि आप एक relationship में हो and you are going out of a relationship to meet someone else, and that is one form of cheating. Cheating is a break of trust, a breach of trust between you two. It is a very, very transparent line. Some relationships, they are okay with cheating because both the partners, they are involved in some or the other form of cheating. Cheating could be as simple as like you and your partner do a lot of things in your own life that you don't discuss or tell each other. That's also a silent form of cheating. That is a breach of trust. So any relationship, if so there could be multiple layers of relationship. One is a novice relationship, one could be more of an intermediate and growing healthy relationship, and one could be more of a, which is the supreme form of relationship, which is more of a, I forgot the term, but something which is as good as the relationship between two gods, divine relationship, we call it as. So if your goal in life is to make a very, just a flaky relationship, which is there for you when you need it, which is not there for you when you need it, kind of a thing, uh, then you should be okay with anything. If your standards are so pure, then cheating should be fine. If your standards, or you aspire or you aim to make your relationship a divine relationship, then I don't think there is a space for cheating, because trust when lost, it takes a lot of effort to build back. So a lot of people say like trust cannot be rebuilt, right? But I have seen in my own relationship it can be built. And if you are making consistent efforts day over day, like trust lies in daily tasks, like things which are super boring, things which are not grand gestures. Every single task that you're performing every single day, even if you don't like it or the way you like it, you still keep doing it. That is what builds the trust. So it requires a complete transparency between the two people who have some way or the other way have broken the trust on each other. So that is where, you have to kind of build it in such a way that you have to be so transparent. You have to be open to questions that the other person may ask, because in relationships a lot of people make this mistake, like they want to be not challenged, or they don't want to get uncomfortable. But the real sweet spot of the relationship lies after you start getting uncomfortable. So why is that? Because imagine if you are with someone down below, you are trying to avoid those feelings, but in reality, they do exist. When you try to bring that feeling in front of your partner and the partner starts fighting over it, that is not how you can build a divine relationship. A divine relationship can only be built when you are in a spot where if your partner feels bad about anything, the question doesn't even exist if it's right or wrong. Right now, the question really is, if they are feeling hurt, that means something has happened. Or they are feeling hurt, that's a period. So you have to fix that before moving forward. Because if you move forward without fixing your partner's sentiments or feelings, or something that they're feeling bad about it will gonna be there. It forms resentment. It forms contempt. And any relationship which is full of contempt, resentment, disrespect, they it becomes really challenging to operate on a daily basis. So I would say trust is critical, respect is critical, and fighting in a way or disengaging in a way where you two are operating as respectful human beings, start softly, ending softly, and always coming to a conclusion and finding a solution. It's building a bridge. You don't have to build all the bridges in your mind, but when the time really arrives, you have to build a bridge between you two.
exactly. And in today's time, a lot of relationships, like before marriage, even after marriage, they are falling. So what are the common mistakes which couples or husband wives they are making just with this relationship? आज की डेट में बहुत ज्यादा डिस्ट्रॉय होती जा रही है।
So I would say love languages that we discussed earlier plays a huge role because आप जो सामने वाले को फील कराना चाहते हो वो उसको फील ही नहीं हो रहा, क्योंकि आप अपनी लैंग्वेज में लव रेसिप्रोकेट कर रहे हो या उसी लैंग्वेज में आप रिसीव करना चाहते हो. तो देयर हैज टू बी, यू हैव टू क्लोज दैट गैप बिटवीन यू टू. Then you have to, like, basically find out certain ways to build your relationship on a daily basis. Your question was majorly why it is falling, because there are a lot of small issues that happens between couple these days. Nobody is trying to, so there's a concept called as feminine and masculine that comes in play. uh, when I say feminine and masculine, does not mean man and woman. Every single human being is born with feminine and masculine traits. Okay, be it a man, be it a woman. Certain areas, like for example, to put it as an example, a man who is good in dancing, he will have a little bit of a higher feminine traits, because feminine means free. It means a lot of, experimentation, being free about it, moving your body, moving your brain is not stagnant in one place. It's flowing. It's a free flow. That is feminine. Masculine, on the other hand, is more sturdy, more stagnant, more firm, more disciplined compared to feminine. So again, nothing to do with men or women. It's a trait. It's an energy. So every human being is full of feminine and masculine traits all together, packed in one body. In a lot of cases today, uh, with the advent of social media and with how, you know the content which is available on internet, the kind of jobs that we are in, with the stressful environment we live in, a lot of shift in energy has happened. Imagine a man who who is not able to focus, who is not able to have clear goals in life, who is very lethargic, not doing any kind of workouts, not working on their habits, highly indisciplined, I would say. That person will not be able to focus on their life goals or achieve something big in life. On the contrary, there could be women who are really excellent in all this, but at the same time, when it comes to a softer side, they might not be able to provide that softer side. So there has been a completely shift in the energies. And when there is a huge shift in the energy, when a masculine talk to each other, they don't talk with lovey-dovey language. They don't talk with there's a lot of ego involved. So any two people, a man, a woman, any two people, when they are conversing, if they are conversing in a masculine tone, they are they are they are working towards not building a clear relationship. How do two men talk? It's a very straightforward conversation. It's a limited usage of the words. Ego is involved, you know, and but there is no softness in that tone. Now, if a man and a woman they are coming to that kind of a conversation, it will lead to a lot of fights. It will lead to a lot of disputes. Both of them are trying to be correct. Nobody is trying to be, submissive. Feminine energy is supposed to be submissive. There are a lot of husbands and men who are super submissive in their relationship. That is also not good, because again there is a shift of energy. When a man starts doing what a woman is supposed to do, there is a huge shift in that energy that will create instability in your relationship. Similarly, I'm not against, like, women should not be doing excellent in their careers. They should definitely do that. My wife also is excellent in her own career and everything. But when it comes to the feminine side, when, becoming that soft, becoming that humble, you have to be submissive in certain areas. That is where, the whole ecosystem lands very well, because you two are not fighting for who's right, who is wrong. You are not fighting for this is my position, this is my authority. You are blending in each other. So that is missing at the core of how our current generation is running. And that creates a lot of trouble in relationships because everybody's trying to prove themselves right. Everybody's trying to prove themselves absolutely correct at all terms, and nobody wants to bend down. There are a lot of cases where even as a man you have to bend down. There are a lot of cases as a woman you have to bend down. But at any given time, the conflict should be between a masculine feminine energy, not the other way. If two
Exactly.
feminine are talking, they won't be able to come to a decision. It could be as simple as they won't be able to decide a restaurant to have dinner at. If two masculine are talking, they will always try to, no, we have to eat at this restaurant versus that restaurant. That also becomes a fight. So
Yeah.
imagine if your daily conversations is full of disengagements and arguments, then how will you build a relationship which is healthy on top of it? And that is where healthy communication also falls in, because healthy communication is where you have to always start soft. You have to be, very conscious about acknowledging the other person's feelings. You have to be very conscious about that you are in the same team. You are not fighting against each other. You two are fighting against the problem. And if the two are becoming a masculine, you won't be able to see that spot. You can only see it when you are a combination of masculine and feminine energy together. Then like Hindi, mein there's a thing called as Shakti. And so Shakti is basically a feminine source. It will always gonna be there. But you also have to recognize the other side of the house as well. So Shiv
Yeah.
Shakti together makes that equilibrium, and together makes that energy focused.
Exactly. As we are talking about the reasons why marriages or relationships are falling nowadays. So let's suppose if any person is going through any tough phase, okay, they are facing any challenges in their particular relationship. So what are simple three or four, five habits which you wanna share? They should change and see a major transformation in their relationship so that they can live in a healthy relationship, happy relationship, and live a peaceful life.
So I think the biggest fear for somebody who is in a relationship which is not going very well is the fear of being alone. There's a thing called as trauma bond that is there. Trauma bond is where you are attached to the love that you receive at the end of this that huge fight that has happened between you two. So एक आप imagine करो एक scenario where you are left in a room for 20 days without food, without water, without anything. 20 days के बाद even if somebody offers you stale breadcrumbs, you will also eat that with pleasure and you will enjoy that.
Yeah,
But if your stomach is full, you won't even consider looking at it. That is called as
exactly.
trauma love or trauma bond. You are so much attached to the 2 days of happiness that you receive in entire 1 month after receiving 28 days of trauma. That attachment to that relief after hurt and not to that person is called as trauma bond. And a lot of marriages and a lot of relationship are stuck there. So your brain always picks certain unhappiness over uncertain betterment. So as we talked about uncertainty and certainty, if your top needs is uncertain is say certainty, then you feel like, okay, if I'm in this relationship which is not keeping me happy, but I have my finances taken care of, my kids are being taken care of, I have a house, I have a like a specific good life, social life, and everything. Those things are adding so much certainty on you that you don't want to step out of. So it's and another thing is in Indian society specifically is when you lose your partner or when you try to step out of the marriage, it feels like you're losing your identity. because in that entire span of life that you have had this with this person, you have built an identity to that particular relationship, a social identity. So first thing is to be in that relationship or not to be in that relationship. That's a very different perspective. I never encourage anyone to end their relationships, because you if you are happy, if you are unhappy in your relationship right now, that means you are doing something right now which you were not doing when you started your relationship. If you enter a relationship and you are just 15 days into it, you must be pretty happy in your life, in your with your partner. Then you must have been making a lot of efforts, or something you must have been doing right at that time. So you have stopped doing it right now. So it's not like relationship has gone bad. You have changed too. You have evolved too, and you have stopped putting efforts into that relationship. That is also something to consider before saying, "Oh, why is this happening to me?" or "this person is not right for me." Maybe the other person is also thinking the same. So first of all, you have to recognize, like, where am I falling apart? You have to take a professional help, I would say, because the cost of being in a bad relationship is way too high, right? A lot of these days, a lot of medical situations happen where people are in depression because of relationships. There are so many cases where, one or the other person commits suicide because they could
Yeah.
not live with that situation. There are a lot of cases. If you go to Indian courts, they're full of family, like, issues. People are divorcing, kids are involved, families are involved. It's like you're breaking the entire ecosystem. You are affecting so many lives because you were not able to handle your emotions very well. So first is recognize what is the issue in your relationship. Try to name the fear that you are facing right now. Is it the fear of being alone? Is it the fear of money? Is it the fear of being judged? Is it the societal pressure? Or is it something else? So first of all, overcome that fear and build your certainty elsewhere. Like, be it your career, be it your ambitions, your goals. You want to do something good for the society, do that. You want to build something for your future generations. You want to spend some time with your friends, family. You want to break your routine, you want to change your routine. Do whatever you can do as an individual in your own capacity, without looking at the other person. It could be because you have stopped looking after yourself. So 90% of the problem happens because you have stopped looking after you. Let me tell you one thing. A couple who are arguing over a lot of issues, 70% of their problems will never gonna solve in this lifetime.
Yeah.
70% of them will always gonna be there. So first of all, you have to accept, if my personal boundaries are not being violated on a daily basis, like violence is there, or any kind of infidelity is there, or any kind of other kind of abuses are there, or the person is like has a completely different priorities in their mind and is completely unavailable, then it's a completely different scenario. But if it's fixable, then fix it. But first of all, start with yourself. Like, change your routine, start going to gym, start working. Like, the first hour of your day, spend on yourself. Just do good with your own body, be it physical workout, be it reading some books, doing some meditation. If you have a goal or a big vision, you make some effort towards it. This is like a golden hour that you dedicate just for yourself. Then comes kids, then comes the family, everybody comes after that. Then, if you have a partner in your life, you are blessed, first of all. So spend some quality 15 minutes worth of time with your partner. It should be a completely non-distracted time that you spend with your partner. If you have kids in your life, you're super blessed. Then spend some quality time with your kids, play with them, grow with them, teach them that you always wanted your parents to teach you. Then, if you are struggling or facing some financial crisis or financial like issues in your family, then learn a new skill. Try to, in today's time, it's super easy to make money. If you are not making money, then you are not using the 100% capacity of yourself. It's you are lacking somewhere, that you are struggling financially. So make some effort towards making some small changes in your entire routine. And once you do that, you are happy in yourself. You are able to accomplish a lot of things in the entire 24-hour period. Have a good night's sleep, eat healthy, eat nutrition food, stop eating like packet food and all those things. That changes your entire ecosystem throughout. And once you start doing this for like a month or 2 months, you will feel you are in a better headspace and mind space with your relationship. And then if you're making consistent small efforts with your partner, sooner or later they will also start to acknowledge it, and they will also start to replicate it. You might not receive the love you wanted maybe throughout your life, but you have to find out different ways to satisfy your needs. I'm not saying step out of your marriage and do something, really bad, but satisfy your needs with your goals, with your vision, with your dreams. Make a goal chart, put it in front of you, make small, consistent efforts every single day.
Yeah, right. So like this is the topic, ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिस पर हम चाहे 2 घंटे 3 घंटे, we just have to sit and talk. Like there's so many things to talk about it, but I will
Absolutely.
come to the end of this podcast, क्योंकि ये ऐसा टॉपिक है जो खत्म ही नहीं होगा, कितनी बात कर रहे हैं, there are so many things, so many unanswered questions, you know, but ultimately हमें इसको कहीं ना कहीं तो खत्म करना ही पड़ेगा. So this is my
Absolutely.
last question. Like if somebody is going through tough phase, or they want to get clarity in their career, or they are going through very bad phase in their relationship, and they are looking for the help, obviously you can help them, right?
Yes,
So how
absolutely.
they can contact you, and if they contact you, do you offer any free clarity call also, so that they can get the clarity and decide what to do next?
Absolutely. So they can reach out to me through Instagram. I'm pretty active over there. I also do a couple of sessions for free of cost to understand their problems, to guide them on a basic terms. And उसके बाद अगर किसी को deeper help चाहिए, then definitely we have some like very price optimum packages, certain classes, because it requires deeper engineering on your own self. There are different aspects of your life which you're working together, and it requires a lot of effort from both my side as well as the person who's working on it. So then it requires deeper understanding and steps that they can take and actions that they can take on a daily basis. So I do have a complete ecosystem around, like, for example, the daily habits that you have to build for stronger relationships, the role of self-love, understanding what your partner actually needs from you, and trying to be present in your relationships, trying to understand the entire ecosystem of your relationships, the areas that you need to work throughout on a daily basis, that you're working towards your finances, you're working towards your goals, you are working towards your health, relationships, career, time, everything. So there are so many things that you have to tackle throughout to build and develop a version that you always want to, that you see in your mentor, that you see in the people that you admire. So it's like you have to do a lot of self work and become more emotionally mature, and act in certain ways in certain situations. So that is where this entire all these the programs that I've designed are working towards. So yes, happy to help, but it is basically like, if somebody's has a question like, is this the right time? There is absolutely no right time, I would say. When you feel that I cannot bear this hurt anymore, that is your right time. Nothing will gonna change in your life unless you actually take steps towards changing it. So what actions do you take, that will gonna determine your life, not the social media, or watching more motivational videos on YouTube will gonna help you. It is basically the confidence that you build on a daily basis with your actions, with your commitments, with your goals. How do you achieve those goals using a vision chart? How do you achieve those small deadlines? by preparing yourself every single day instead of procrastinating uh, to a next year or next week kind of a thing. And the most important thing of all is changing your identity. As Tony Robbins says, like nothing will change in your life unless your identity will shift. So identity is not your willpower. Uh, if it is becoming someone you are complete, you don't know right now, it is becoming someone you want to be someday in your own dreams. So to change that or to shift that identity, you have to make a lot of consistent efforts and take big actions, massive decisions on a daily basis. That is where your life starts to become happier and peaceful, and the kind of life everybody wants, right? Like uh, where they have achieved financial independence, they have amazing, loving spouse, kids. They are able to travel freely. They don't have to worry about their health. They are looking good. Everything falls in one place, and there's just one life to build everything. So every single day counts.
Exactly. And this is so important to seek for the help. There are so many people, those who are struggling internally in their
A lot
relationship,
of
or
people,
they can advise.
a lot of people say like the cost of coaching is something that does not work for me. To them, I would say just one thing: the real cost is way much
Exactly.
than the cost that you pay for coaching and change your life. Imagine a person. Recently, I had an incident in the society that he lives in. Somebody I know very well, they suicide. Um, and from what I know, this person, the front outlook was pretty okay. But deep down, since I'm in this industry, I could sense, and I offered him help for free as well. But uh, he was too much resistant to change, and he was like he did not want to make an effort because he was under the assumption like I'm perfect in the way I am. But what I'm trying to say is the hidden cost is way too high. If you take help, if you could engage the right resources at the right time, you can't even imagine the cost or the money that you're saving by helping yourself. If somebody goes for a divorce, it's not just a monetary situation that sucks in, but the life of the people, the emotions, the time spent, the frustration, what kids suffered for their entire life. That is like you can't even put a number to it. So if you are struggling, anyways, like in your relationship, in your finances, in your career, making bolder, bigger decisions, then you are actually, it is costing you a lot more than any kind of coaching help would.
100%. There's always there, like the cost of not taking action when, if it is so needed, is bigger than what they are going to pay for it to take
Absolutely.
action. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Ankur, thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. You have shared a lot of insights. And guys, if you're watching it till here and you wanna like if you're going through some bad phase in your life or relationship, do contact Ankur. He can definitely help you. At least get the clarity, seek for help. Until and unless you will not take action, no change will happen. You have to take responsibility at least. And further, if you will work with a coach, work with an expert, definitely he can help you to do that. I will put the link of his Instagram account in the description of this video, so you can just check it out, contact him, book your free clarity call, and get the clarity. So Ankur, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. It was lovely talking to you, and sooner we will record another episode also about it because there are so many questions which are unanswered about relationship and all. So let's see when we will find a slot to record another podcast, and we will definitely do it.
Thank you so much, Mohit. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.